Okay, it's about time I did this. Welcome to part 2 of the double creature feature. If you haven't seen part 1, I highly suggest you go see that first. Link will be in the description, so I don't have to go over the disclaimer again and blah blah blah. Anyway, I just want to give a quick apology and a thank you to all the people who were waiting a bit too long for this part to come out, although I could say that I managed to get this out the week that It Chapter 2 was supposed to come out conveniently, but I'd be lying. And I also just want to say thank you for all the positive feedback and all the comments about how unbiased I was and how refreshing it was to see a video like mine commenting on Nostalgia Critic. I know there are a couple other people who have done it out there, and I know a lot of people have thrown shade at other YouTubers who have criticized Nostalgia Critic quite harshly, and yeah, I just thank you all for that. I'm glad I was able to come off non-biased and not as angry, and I tried my very, very best to do that in this part as well, though I will admit there were parts where I legitimately got angry to the point where I had to rewrite them in my script, hence why it took so long. So if some of the points seem a bit more aggressive than others, that's why, because when I was recording it and when I was typing it, they came off really, I was flabbergastic. So I don't know how well I did. If you guys have any other comments or criticisms on how I should word my stuff, I know I've been kind of in and out of doing scripting, but yeah, if you think that this video had a few issues, feel free to tell me. If you don't think so, then great. I'm fine with either. My door screeched. I think I have ghosts. Anyway, so let's get on to part 2.
Hello! Usually, when someone walks in front of a red curtain, it's to tell you that you're about to see something scary. And indeed, by internet standards, you will be seeing something scary tonight. Opinions. Oh my God! No, I know. Sometimes opinions can be scary, especially when they're not your own. But remember when Nostalgia Critic reviewed It for the first time and everyone got really angry and now everyone wants him to do a Stephen King review once a year? So, being the internet, we can all be adults here and just agree that there's better things to argue about. My fiancé said that this would happen, so he wrote me a little backup speech. Any of you crybaby shit pants got a problem with that? You can tighten it up with me! There, that's better. Enjoy the review, have a good time. And remember, if anyone feels triggered, you can say hello to my trigger, biatch!
Ooh, am I the only one who thought the gun in a movie theater was in poor taste? That probably doesn't matter. I love how this section was supposed to give the impression that the opinions in this review are going to piss a lot of people off, but that's okay, because, that's just how opinions work. Though, admittedly, his viewpoint at the end was more positive, and how he actually didn't really mind the movie that much, which is fine, but the opinions he gives are not really solid to me.
So I hear your cinematic version is breaking all sorts of box office records. You know, when mine was on TV, the ratings were through the roof.
Ratings? What are those?
They were how you measured success before Netflix arrived.
Sounds stupid.
It kind of was. They told us nobody watched Family Guy, but the fans brought it back so that years later nobody will watch Family Guy.
Well, what we measure now is box office. It's only a matter of time before people say, I'm the definitive it.
Aha! I started haunting children's nightmares first.
First is worst, as any YouTube commenter would tell you.
They're already looking back and remembering how awesome I was. I'm telling you, bucko, I almost got it.
No! Time will pass and they'll all remember me. I almost got it.
I feel like I really shouldn't be here. You see, where I come from is pronounced IT crowd as opposed to it crowd.
Now shut up, boss, and tell us which it is better.
Yeah, come on! I'm scarier!
You see,
But I'm funnier.
We're not supposed to be funny!
We're friggin' clowns!
this is going worse than my American pilot.
Hello, boys. Pour me a cupcake vodka martini and deal me in.
No.
We are so not doing that.
No.
That pretty much sums it up. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, goodbye. Oh. Okay, fine. It's okay. Okay, I'm not giving up that easily. The skit was honestly the only reason why I kept watching.
Oh, come on, what's the big deal?
You always ruin it for people!
Yeah, kids used to be afraid of me, but now they just come up to me and go, waha, waha, waha.
Oh, come on, I like some things in it. The kids were good, you were good.
And?
I don't know, I blacked out due to the Stephen King drinking game.
Oh my god, that game comes with a Surgeon General's warning, doesn't it?
Yeah, you see, this is what he does. He ruins scary things by pointing out their flaws. Like asking why my head turning into a dog was supposed to be scary.
Well, why was it supposed to be scary? Did the Pound Puppies take over development?
Forget it, you're not gonna ruin our fun.
Okay, look. Both of you are trying to figure out who's the definitive version. Doesn't it make sense to have me hear both sides to figure out which one is better? Have me be the one to determine who almost got it.
Not really, no.
Awful idea.
Well, screw you, I'm not talking about the Dark Tower movie.
That's fair.
Do I even need to make a joke here? I mean, he was right about the Dark Tower, because that movie is garbage! Anyway.
You know what? Go ahead! Everybody in the world loves my movie. The president of Critic said if Jesus was a movie, this would be that movie. The United Nations of Film Critics said just stop making movies altogether. Nothing will ever top it. And the Holy Church of Heavenly Criticism said, take me now, death. I do not fear you, because I have seen it, and I know nothing in life will ever be better. Going overboard, you may say, riding the hype train, perhaps. I say no. I challenge you, nay, welcome you, to find one single solitary thing wrong with my version of it.
Okay, this is the cinematic version of it.
Was kinda hoping you'd be intimidated by that.
I wasn't.
Oh.
Were people really that hyped over the It movie? Okay, I know I was a bit insane when it came out, but I knew the movie wasn't perfect. It's like the anti-Star Wars fandom, where you do nothing but praise everything good and deny all the bad. I've never experienced something like this before. Should I be scared?
As the credits roll, we see a little boy named Georgie and his stuttering brother named Bill. Okay, for the sake of dialogue, we'll switch him out.
New White Bill, do you think that the SS Georgie is ready to sail?
She sure is.
She?
You always call a ship a she.
Even if it's called the SS Georgie?
You want to get to the real problems of this film or not?
Yeah, no, okay.
He's excited to test out his paper boat in the rain, but not before he gets what he needs in the creepy basement.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna kill me off before the credits end, and also, everybody knows that drain sewer scene, so I'm just gonna assume that those are light bulbs.
Well, you don't have to be so mean about it.
Georgie loses his boat in the drain, though, coming across the infamous clown, Pennywise.
Hiya, Georgie.
Nope.
Hey, wait, where you going? Hey, wait, where's he going?
No kid would be drawn to someone that scary looking.
Yeah, but they were drawn to him and he's not even scary.
Exactly, you dumbass.
One of the reasons Pennywise creeped people out so much is he was a legitimately good clown. He was goofy and funny, so he could lure kids into his evil traps. This guy couldn't lure awkward fan art to Tumblr.
Oh, honey, you haven't seen what I've seen. The amount of clown cockery can go for miles. In all seriousness, okay, yeah, the general consensus with 2017 Pennywise is that he's more intimidating compared to the miniseries. When you compare the designs and direction, they are vastly different, and he can easily minimize the fear and the humor the character is visually known for. I would have agreed with this statement to a point if it wasn't for this point directly after.
Hey, I was legitimately creepy. I feed off people's fears.
But you don't feed off their dumb. Something has to draw them in.
You want drawing in? How about this?
I gotta go.
Oh yeah, that worked great.
You know, we should just jump to eating him. True.
Morning.
So, you mean to tell me the movie was making Georgie out to be dumb for falling for the humor of Pennywise point blank, but when the film shows that Georgie is actually unsettled in the movie itself, thus proving his point, it's a problem? I'm sorry, I'm confused. If a film like this is self-aware enough to show that, yeah, seeing a clown in a sewer like this would probably throw a bright kid off when he's staring at him blankly, like that is a flaw, I hate to imagine what's coming up next.
loss of his brother, Bill over time acquires a group of foul-mouthed friends known as the Token Troop. Losers Club. Let's say Token Club. It uses a lot of the traditional kid group tropes, but to be fair, it was one of the originators of it, so it's given a little leeway, like when Token Girl Bev seems to get along with the Token Fat Kid, Ben.
So, you're the new kid on the block. What are you listening to? New Kids on the Block. Really?
Yeah, really?
Okay, it's like the only 80s they cram down your throat.
But it's dumb.
Really dumb.
Okay, do you want that, or do you want to do what every movie about the 80s does now and have you wear this?
Okay.
We'll take the lame joke.
Good. Now get back to your romantic kinda maybe sorta relationship.
I guess I'll be somewhat attracted to you later.
Kinda.
Maybe.
Sorta.
I'm gonna let you guys guess how quickly he forgets this point halfway through the review because, oh, it's juicy. Also, interesting thing when he points out the 80s in your face trope, which will destroy him later, trust me. The movie honestly kinda has that vibe if you pay attention to the background. Like the arcade, the movie posters, the slang, some of the clothes, the music. Oh, wait until we get into the damn music.
Oddly enough, the other characters are introduced early on through Pennywise scares. Which is strange as we're supposed to be afraid for them even though we don't know them very well yet. Like Stanley, the Jewish trope.
Huh, I wonder why a Jewish temple would have a creepy abstract painting of a woman. I wonder if it's modeled after that woman over there. I guess I'll tell no one about this.
Yeah, I have no jokes for that moment. That was a legitimately scary scene.
Thank you for acknowledging the painting. God, that thing was terrifying. Also, I don't think it's strange for the characters to be introduced through Pennywise scares, since in the original miniseries that's kind of what happened too, and it's what brings the Losers Club together, along with some motivation to go after Pennywise. It's like all of them have a direct link, hence why they have motivation in the story. Granted, the movie did cut and change things compared to the book, mainly Ben and Mike having switched the roles of the historian, but other than that, this is a pretty basic setup for a concept as insane as it.
Which is a shame because some scares are ruined by the film's inability to go all the way with its ideas. For example, a germaphobe trope named Eddie is looking for his medication. A creepy looking hand grabs it and holds it up to him. Now this is a brilliant setup, framing the hand in the foreground, keeping the creepy person's identity blurred, building up how scary he's gonna look. This is masterful, but then when it's revealed what he looks like, ooh, I have a cold, ooh, that payoff isn't scary enough. It's just a really sick-looking guy. He's supposed to be a leper, but come on, you could have gone more creepy than this. To a germaphobe, I guess that's scary, but to us, it's not that bad.
Oh, okay. Where to start? First of all, it wasn't just some sick-looking guy. It looked like this. Secondly, sure, it's not bone-chillingly make you shit your pants scary, but it's doing its job for the movie. You said it yourself, it's scary to a germaphobe. You know, like Eddie. Thirdly, I think it is the exception for scares based on concept alone, and I think that's why it works so well. Horror movies tend to make a concept that'll scare general audiences if that's the main factor of the movie, though I feel like it can be less effective if that's what its main purpose is supposed to be. When you compare it to something like It 2017, or say another movie by the same director, Mama, there's some depth to the scares and there's a story behind it which makes it much more valuable. Sure, if it doesn't scare you, that's fine, there's no problem with that. My opinion as a whole, I think it's much preferable and much more interesting if there's backstories behind the creep factor.
Scares can be lessened in other ways too. The black kid trope named Mike is quickly shown the grisly remains of a building that burned down. Now this would be incredibly disturbing if the music just shut the hell up. Most of the soundtrack is hugely over the top. When it's supposed to be pleasant, it crams whimsy into you like Tinkerbell being shoved up your ass.
Pleasant, nice, oh so wonderful, childhood is great, there's nothing wrong with it, yay!
And when it's supposed to be scary, it works in the softer moments, but there aren't that many softer moments. Instead, it turns what should be goosebumps creeping up your spine into jump scares being bashed into your skull. Look, a scary soundtrack, like any soundtrack, is essential, but when it's used too much, it can become like a laugh track, where it's forcing down your throat what should be coming to you naturally.
Fair point, to an extent. What I agree with is when a horror movie has an overuse of jump scare sounds and other cues to trigger the reaction. From what I gathered, that's just a flaw with a lot of American movies. Directors just don't think people can put puzzle pieces together, so they just do it with sound cues. What I don't agree with is the idea of the soundtrack being too much, because, newsflash everyone, that's what a movie soundtrack is. You know those iconic tracks that play loudly through a movie when things happen throughout the story? I don't understand how this is being shoved down our throat when you compare it to almost every movie having this kind of problem. I've never seen anyone in my life complain about a movie soundtrack being force-fed to us, ever. This is one of the dumbest points in my opinion.
Let's try the scene again, except take the music down a lot and focus more on the eerie silence and a few well-chosen sound effects. Didn't that seem creepier? Wasn't even the car driving by more jarring?
No. It was still loud and overbearing with that stereotypical ree noise coming in. Also, ayo! People in the back! If you were ever trapped inside of a burning building desperately trying to escape, would you be silent? No, you wouldn't. You're not fucking stupid. Unless you're trying to not breathe in the smoke, which then you would probably be a lot smarter. Damn it, whatever. I'm actually laughing as I typed this part in my script because I asked my friends this question, and they all thought I was completely deranged. More than usual.
Now don't get me wrong, some scares work brilliantly, like the burned headless ghost. His reveal and the way he moves is chillingly unnerving. But I'll admit it gets a little silly when you have to show it's still Pennywise.
Wait a minute, what do you mean silly? There's nothing silly about me. I'm the most frightening thing in cinema.
You want to tell him or should I?
I think we should both tell him.
What? Tell me what?
You're a clown!
No matter what you do, you're gonna be a little silly.
Just embrace it, you oddball of denial!
That's not true. Remember when I scared Bland Leader Billy by scaring him with his dead brother? Ha 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 ha! Look, I'm Jeff Dunham if he was ever funny! Ha 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 ha! Now come on, that's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still a little funny too.
I'm not supposed to be funny! I get really scary when I run up to him like this. Ah!
What is that?
It's my thing. My creepy way of running.
You look and sound like a possessed Olaf from Frozen.
Go back to hunting Ferngully. This is scary.
Oh my god, is there any way we can play the Benny Hill music over that?
Oh my god, totally do that!
This is scary.
Oh, that's gold.
This was never funny until I met you.
Yes, totally not scary. Sorry about the jump scare. I feel like for me personally, I get really scared when something chases at me and gets right in my face at an inhuman speed, hence why the painting woman near the end of the film made me jump and almost run my ass out of the theater. I can understand if people don't find that type of thing scary, but for me, anything that moves like that will make me scared. I don't know if that makes me a pussy or I have poor taste. You decide on that one.
There's one kid in the film I swear is in his own separate movie, and that's Richie. I love this kid, mostly because he's like the dorky version of Ash. Think about it. He has all the one-liners.
They say Derry's a town of beaver traps, and it still is. Am I right, boys?
Except when he doesn't.
Something, 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 your mom. Am I right, boys?
He's super cowardly.
I don't want to go in there.
Except when he's not.
You see this? This is my bat stick!
He's somehow the geekiest and coolest kid in the entire movie. The consistent inconsistency.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that could be a point about the film altogether. it's not perfect, but there's so much good.
Other inconsistencies are more distracting than fun. Like the adults not noticing the blood that the kid sees is more unsettling in this one.
Did you swim with your hair? I'm gonna do some creepy shit over here.
But then the kids are cleaning the blood, rocking out to an 80s song. The upbeat blood cleaning scene? Why don't you just throw a whisk in there like a chick flick while you're at it?
What is this dude's issue with the music in this movie? Literally all the issues are about the music, and this scene wasn't even that upbeat. Literally no one was happy while cleaning all the blood. I need to calm down. Honestly, it would have been funnier to point out that only the kids could see the blood, so it looked like they were just scrubbing down an empty bathroom to the dad's drunken confusion. That was the only thing that really ran through my head when I first saw it. Just because the song plays over the scene doesn't make it bad or confusing. It could have been a contrast to the gore, or a reference to the 80s. Actually, save that point. I'm gonna go more in depth about that later.
See, you have no idea what you're doing. Now, our version, on the other hand, we made balloons scary.
No, you didn't.
Little bit?
No, little bit.
Teeny tiny?
Stop now.
Yeah, okay.
The new movie, however, kinda did.
What?
For one, all the balloons are red, helping them stand out more and serving as an eerie visual. Dollars to donuts for a long time. When someone just sees a single red balloon, they're gonna think of it. Second, they're used to reveal something. There's always something creeping behind it. The balloon itself is not scary, but rather a build-up to the actual scare we're about to get. Thus, when we see it, we do start to get frightened. I'll even say the bullies are a lot better. Yeah, the ultimate generic Stephen King trope is actually done fairly well here, particularly with the main bully Henry, who is not only given a backstory that's very quick to grasp, but they also make it clear that his type of bullying is more psychotic than most other bullying. It isn't just run-of-the-mill, they acknowledge it's pretty messed up.
I've been waiting outside the library for you, Ben.
You waited for hours and knew I'd come this direction?
How dare you point out my cinematic flaws? Just for that?
Oh my god, why do you hang out with this guy?
Honestly, we're hiding behind you.
Yeah, we're afraid he's gonna cut us.
Ow, ow! It's working!
That's a lesson on how you make something iconic, ladies and gents. Though saying that it makes the point at the very beginning of the review even more pointless and confusing. I'm not even gonna get into this. Move on.
But Ben escapes and comes across the loser gang who attends to his wounds.
Question. Why didn't we take him to a hospital?
Oh, me. Well, it's because the adults in the area don't care about the kids.
Okay, I know that because I read the book, but aside from a couple in a car driving by, it's not made very clear.
Yeah, and even then, people are still alive. They must have a somewhat functional medical facility.
I mean, they're kids. I don't think they would even do that with adults around. It's like that thing when kids want to seem independent, so they do everything themselves. I also would like to argue that it can easily be explained that the adults don't care about the kids because of that car scene, especially when you compare it to the miniseries when all we got was an old man walking back into his house. Come to think of it, that wasn't even the only time that happened. During the Georgie scene, there was an old woman who came in and out and completely ignored Georgie even after he got his arm ripped out and was screaming in agony. So I don't think there really needs to be much more of an explanation on that front. Plus, even if they did that aspect in the foreground, you would still complain about it.
No time for that! Billy sees Bev walking for the first time in slow-mo!
Wait, didn't he just see her a moment ago in the drugstore?
But not in slow-mo.
But isn't that usually reserved for the first time you see someone? Like the first time you see her, things slow down? Why do it the following moment? Is it love at second sight?
What? You don't know?
You're right, we don't.
Well, if you don't know, I'm not gonna tell you.
Who just won that?
Yeah, I don't know why this happened. I think since there was already something going on with Ben needing the medical stuff, and there needs to be a reason that Bev helps and joins the group. With what I've seen from the It Chapter 2 trailer, it seems like they really want Bev and Bill to get together. Yeah, I'm torn. I have no idea why that's a thing.
So Ben invites the Losers Club over as a means to say thanks for saving him.
Yeah, I study disappearances and histories of towns that I just moved to.
Wow, your incredibly distinct quirk is very convenient for us.
Yeah, I guess I'll give the movie this, instead of the fat kid trope being obsessed with.
Boom!
In this, he's obsessed with
Tone!
Oddly enough, like I said, Ben and Mike's roles switched. Mike kind of got the shaft when it came to character, since in the miniseries and in the book, he was the historian, which then played into the fact that he was the only person to stay in Derry. I don't know why they changed this. Ben was already kind of a sweet protective type, but I guess there's only so much that could be done before this movie ended up being 3 hours long.
It's a little forced, but not as forced as this.
Oh my god, you still like New Kids on the Block?
Yes, as I clearly established earlier.
Wow, that is still so 80s.
Hey, does anyone notice this incredibly obvious picture of a clown with our city's founders?
I mean, we had to pause the movie to focus on that poster.
While playing a song, too.
I mean, it's right here for everyone to see. I just thought someone would notice it.
Yeah, this film's mostly timeless, but sometimes we gotta kick you in the balls with the 80s.
Yeah, what'd we get? Only like 5 close-ups of the poster?
And you only got 2 of the creepy clown here, like someone else noticed it. Someone else noticed it!
Did I mention Batman and Lethal Weapon are playing at the theater?
Wow, the 80s are so cool. Let's never reference them again.
Clown.
Shut up, Richie!
Clown.
Okay then, Stranger Things. I guess you're an outdated piece of crap because you did the ungodly, terrible thing of reference a time period. Same goes for The Lost Boys, The Breakfast Club, Heathers, The Goonies, every slasher movie ever made. Does that mean the miniseries and the book have to be deducted because they reference the 60s? I don't understand why this band is such an annoyance that it needs to be called out for how, wow, so 80s it is. He's acting like this is the most annoying thing that gets shoved in your face every damn minute. You wanna know how many times this band gets referenced? 2 times. Maybe 3 if you're counting dialogue. He literally stated at the beginning that this was the only 80s thing, and it wasn't that bad, and yet still makes a fuss about it later. Just because a film takes place during a time period doesn't mean it's not good. Also, for your information, they do study the images of Pennywise throughout Derry's history. You got that completely backwards just for your lame joke. Knock it off!
The tone gets even weirder when Mike appears back in the movie. Yeah, he kinda disappeared for a long time, didn't he?
This feels self-defeating.
There's only one thing we can do for this serious scene of us fighting our fears.
Silly music and slow-mo!
We're directed!
Remember when this was a serious, important scene?
Yeah! Now it's silly and goofy! See? That didn't even hurt! I'm like a cartoon now!
I mean, this scene was already kind of crazy to begin with. I can understand why the director probably thought it would be kind of, funny and pretty entertaining to watch a bunch of kids, throw rocks at each other. What the fuck?
So they save Mike and decide to allow him to be in the Losers Club.
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis?
As long as I'm not marginalized like that Jewish kid, I'll believe anything you say.
What Jewish kid?
Shalom! oh yeah, Stanley.
You guys forgot I was even a character, didn't you?
No.
It's okay, it's okay. There's so many characters in this movie anyway, somebody was bound to get less screen time. Heck, I'm not even here half the time, I'm a cardboard cutout.
Huh, I did not know that.
So what do you say, Mike? You want to join our club?
You got it. Where do you want me?
In the back with the Jewish kid.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't deny that. Those two really got thrown in the background. Though at least Stan got some deadlight trauma near the end, so we all know what that's going to lead into. I'm sad now.
The film does get genuinely fun again, and not forced fun like... whatever that was. After a scene where Pennywise comes to life on their slide projector, the kids enter a haunted house that honestly is kind of like a neighborhood Halloween haunted house. And I mean that in the best way.
So, funny rock war is forced while haunted house scene was not. I'm conflicted. Guess the only thing I'm getting out of this is to never use slow motion in editing. Like, ever.
It has rooms with creepy toys, cobwebs, doors that lead to over-the-top scares. It's goofy, gory fun.
Stop saying that!
Saying what?
Things like goofy, gory fun. Does this sound like a voice that'd be interested in goofy, gory fun? I am super scary and super serious in this gritty reimagining of it. I contort my body and turn into all sorts of sharp things.
Oh, you mean with your crappy digital effects?
Oh, that's just typical of you critics, isn't it?
I totally forgot he was still there.
Yeah, weren't you just an opening punchline?
I know how this works. When you point out bad digital effects, that means you hate all digital effects.
That's not what I said at all, but
I get it. You hate Pixar, you despise Jurassic Park, you want to see Officer Hobbs die!
Okay, look, digital effects are wonderful and have come a long way, especially in horror films. CGI can make a ghostly image seem there and not there at the same time. It's one of the few examples where the uncanny valley actually helps an effect, and half the time, it's great in this film. The creepy painting coming to life, the headless boy, a good half of the digital effects are very effective.
Great! That means you love all CGI. I'm glad we cleared this up.
No, here's the thing. Like any effects, there's good and bad ones. And when you use them so often in your movie, the bad ones are gonna be easier to spot. The fear of Pennywise isn't that he's a ghost you can see through. He's supposed to look like he's really there. And if your digital effects don't have time to really make it look like his hand is turning into a werewolf or he's transforming into a monster, because you have to use that time on other digital effects, the fear is massively diluted.
Irony is that he hated Jurassic World CGI so much he literally a mass chunk of that review was him screaming about how terrible it was. Just thought I'd point that out. In my opinion, though, I don't think the CG was that bad. I think the only really odd-looking one was when Pennywise was contorting out of the fridge. Yeah, it was unsettling, but it looked very much like a video game if you really want to be critical about it. I think the major issue could most likely be the lighting, because when you look at the majority of the scenes, they're usually in darker and dimmed down, so it looked more realistic.
Nope, it was all amazing, and you hate everything digital, like that blurry run effect. How did you do that?
Oh, of course.
You're just filming your face really close to the phone.
It cost CGI artists thousands to recreate this.
Are we still playing?
Oh, for the love of God. It's called a jittery effect. It's like a glitch in a projector. It's not that hard to figure out.
The kids fight back Pennywise, showing they can defeat him, so of course let's have this be the moment where they split up and go their separate ways.
So long, everyone. It's time we split up and go our separate ways.
Oh, yeah, you really got me there, movie. I'm so sure they're never gonna meet up again.
No, it's really sad.
Oh, yeah, what a shame you'll never get back together.
Wait, why are we leaving? We've got him on the run. We should finish him off.
Nope. This is the part where you push out.
But that cliche is in everything. I know, I was in those cliches when they became popular.
No. We're not going to fix old cliches. Instead, we're going to put a whole bunch of other ones in.
Like what?
Well, the damsel in distress for one.
Followed up by true love's kiss, breaking the spell.
Seriously?
Well, the chart says. Well, want to go to a chart bar? Maybe talk some math?
Let's consult the chart.
Yes.
And he broke his arm. It all broke off because they realized how fucked up this was. Also, this thing kind of confused me too, especially the kiss. It seems rather odd to have those elements in, but then if it was such an issue, why did it get such high praise? My theory is that it could have been paying homage to 80s cinema cliches. Like they were acknowledging the fact that these were things in 80s storytelling and they were just referencing them. If that's not the case, then I have no idea. I'm just a crazy clown fucker. Why are you even listening to me? I want to die.
So the loser gang reunite to save Beverly.
She's down there.
Wait, what's that on your arm?
It's a cast.
You went to a hospital? I thought I knew you.
You're all gonna be going to the hospital soon.
Quick, Mike!
Damn it, Mike! We kind of need you to kind of justify your kind of art.
Oh, okay. Yay! I guess I have a reason for being here!
Wonderful! Now I can tell you all about my incredibly interesting backstory.
We're kind of past the 2-hour mark.
We could probably get you a bonus feature on the Blu-ray.
Fair enough!
Really? A hospital? I bet the nurses were hot, though.
I thought it was a placebo!
Considering that, again, Eddie's mom dragged him to a hospital, that would probably explain that. Just saying. Also, why didn't you point out that there was no way Harry could be dead? That would have made this much more interesting and made it even more funny.
Meanwhile, Beverly wakes up in the sewers where, oh Christ.
Oh, now what?
You sure you're not supposed to be at all funny?
What? It's a scary dance of evil! It's poopy trousers time!
Yeah, especially when you play this over it.
I will do the German dance for you, it's fun again, la la la.
Hey, stop that! Stop that! Oh, come on, people, just stop playing Gangnam Style over that!
I like how the movie actually made something funny with Pennywise, but the critic is trying to push it that it's supposed to be scary and nothing else. Were people really that determined to argue that? I've never heard anyone say that 2017 Pennywise wasn't funny in the slightest and was just all scary. Unless they were already, like, afraid of clowns, which is kind of like, I don't know if that's fair.
Oh yeah! Well, here's something in my version of the movie that your version never had. People actually floating!
Oh my god, really?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's a really good point. For all the times you always said they always float, we never do see anybody float in your version.
Waha! Waha!
It's not gonna work.
Yes, it is. Waha! 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 Waha!
Okay, yeah, it is. Hey! I'm sorry, he's a good clown!
Thank you. Best part is that was just made for that movie alone. There was never a visual of that before, which makes it even more amazing.
They rescue Beverly, but she's in a hypnotized daze. So, like mentioned before,
Ben uses true love's kiss to free her.
You know what? I'm married. I love my wife.
Doink!
Haha, that still counts.
You won't get away that easily!
So Pennywise tries to transform into all their fears. Oh, hi, kids. Ha 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 ha. You're just chickens. Cheep, 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 cheep.
Okay, that was pretty funny. I'm a sucker for the room jokes.
The kids confront their terrors and beat Pennywise, resulting in them agreeing to come back if he ever returns.
Well, I guess we did it.
We sure did. Whoa, I'm sorry, what are you doing?
Kissing you.
Oh, I think I have a better relationship with Ben. I mean, he saves me, he writes me poetry. Also, I just did a kissing scene with him.
Yeah, hands off my maybe lady.
I don't follow this. It's the last scene of the movie. Are we really gonna end in a half-assed relationship?
Well, let's see what the book says.
That's a great idea. It's sure to show who Beverly should end up with. Oh wow.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Super uncomfortable.
How about we, blow kisses?
Yeah, the book was really messed up. Oh, so at least he points out that the relationship thing with Bev and Bill, honestly, it's cute, but we shall see. Ugh.
And that is the greatest thing we ever made as humans. Cinematically flawless, hauntingly haunting, the most amazing horror film ever made. Good, super, yes, good.
Don't think you're overhyping it just a teeny bit.
Nope, it's perfect. And anyone who thinks different hates movies.
Well,
Yes, movie hater.
it's hard to say this is a flawless horror film, but at the same time, it's hard to say it's bad, too. There's a lot of scares, fun ideas, decent enough characters, and in many respects, it is better than the original. On the whole, I do recommend it as a scary flick.
Take that, Ronald Horror Picture Show!
But there is one thing the original has that the new one doesn't.
What's it?
Personality.
The original was silly and awkward, but it kind of relished it. From the awkward effects, to the hokey acting, to the odd writing, and of course, Tim Curry giving 1,000,000%. It's not scary, but it's an over-the-top campy TV movie. This is trying to be an 80s film, a timeless film, have subtle scares, over-the-top scares, adult humor, cartoony humor. Tonally and stylistically, it's just all over the place. I admire it for trying so much, but they don't always fit together, which helps create less of an identity. So even though the cinematic version is better, I'll strangely enough probably remember the original more. So yes, it is good enough. I just don't think it's the game changer everybody builds it up to be.
Literally shut up. The film has a personality. A huge one. Just because it didn't have Tim Curry's charm doesn't mean it doesn't have an identity. I appreciate he actually says the film was well done, but all the stuff about nothing working together is completely unfair in my opinion. The whole argument is based on the music, which if you've ever seen any movie in the history of your life, you would know that argument is completely unjust. What would have made it stronger if he mainly talked about the sound effects, which has been a huge issue in modern horror since forever? To be honest, as a person who knows both the miniseries and the movie, I think both of them have a special place. Flaws and perfections alike. Neither of them are masterpieces, but I know damn sure 2017 Pennywise isn't going to be forgotten after how iconic they made him. Just because the 80s were referenced doesn't mean it's a problem. It's a time period that worked in the story. So, you may be asking yourself, what are my final thoughts overall? I don't hate Nostalgia Critic. Honestly, the videos were entertaining as all hell. I found myself laughing at certain parts and getting really giddy and entertained by certain sections despite the frustration and the flaws. I don't really think his videos are that big of an issue. I mean, it has the same issue as like any other like movie critic on YouTube in my opinion. Just the people who over-exaggerate or underdevelop certain sections that really are critical when you're talking about a movie in detail. And I honestly feel like that's an issue that needs to be talked about more. I know I like only talked about it briefly in a collaboration with in another video, but I feel like stuff like this needs to be brought up more because it makes or breaks a movie. People talk about it all the time. Like, a review of a movie can ruin the experience, or it can ruin the sales, or just, you know, all that stuff. And I think with how people operate and how things are all about, you know, the public opinion and stuff, it's just, it can get really diluted and it can make a movie seem worse than it actually is. And I've said that over and over again. The movies aren't that bad. They're not perfect. I know for a fact they're not perfect. They're horror movies. Horror movies have never been perfect, but I still love them. A lot of people do, and they have a lot of good values to them. I just wish they wouldn't get treated so unfairly because of a lot of mishaps. There's a few gems out there, guys. You gotta just, you know, relax a bit. Just relax and just give it a chance, you know? It's not that big of a deal, but I guess I'm just too chill for my own good. Anyway, guys, sorry this video took so long. My upload schedule has been really all over the place, mainly because I'm almost done with school. And I've just been focusing more on art stuff rather than video stuff because this is more of a hobby. I am an artist, career-wise, and just at heart. So if you guys just want to follow me or figure out where the hell I am when I'm not posting YouTube, I highly suggest you follow me on Twitter because I'm mostly just active on there when it comes to anything really, art, video-wise, just anything. I'm also active on Discord as well, but I don't really like talk to people and I don't really have my Discord server hasn't really been active in like over a year, almost 2 years I think. So I may try to bring that back because I really want to hear more of your guys' suggestions on what I should cover next since I'm very like picky and very just like when it comes to picking subjects for my commentaries, and I know that's what a lot of you people want, so I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out a way, but if you guys have any suggestions on what you think I should cover next, horror movie-wise or just movie review-wise that you find are really unjust or you just want to hear my opinion on, feel free to comment on below or send it to me over Twitter or whatever, just anything you want, and I will see you all laters.